In this video, I'm going to go through some of the basic functionality of GCalToolkit. So I'll start by loading up a calendar. This is my primary calendar, which has my email address. And you can, of course, select multiple calendars on this screen if you want to. And you can save groups of calendars and give them a name so that you can easily select groups later on. So I'll call this 3 favorites, and you can see that it's now selected here, so I can easily go back to that selection. Or I can just select one. So for now, what I'm going to do is just select one calendar and fetch events. Here you can put in your registration details if you have them, and then load up your events. So here we see the main event screen. We've got a start column, and you can click on the top of any column once or twice to order the events by the title, the description, or the repeat rule, or whatever you like. You can also resize the columns. You can drag the little dividers to the left and the right, and the software will remember the positions of these columns. Show and hide columns allows you to hide whichever columns you want to hide and display whichever ones you want to display. So for now, I'm going to leave that as it is, and let's start by some date filtering. So I'm going to filter by start date, and we're going to go between these two dates. So once you've selected the dates and the type of filter, you can filter, and you can see that the start date is now in red, telling you that this is being filtered. If you choose a day and again click filter, you can select to restrict the events to only a particular day or weekdays or whatever. And the reset button resets all the filters. In this section, you can choose to display only single events or repeat events. Free and busy, all-day events or timed events, and various options for guests, events with guests, etc. So, and reset to reset all of that. You can also filter by text in any field. And again, reset to remove all the filtering. So up here we've got delete visible, which will select all your events for deletion. Keep visible obviously keeps everything. And you can select events if you hold down Control or Shift for multiple events, and then you can delete selected events, which will then show up in red. And of course, keep selected if you don't want to delete them. So no changes are made to Google Calendar until you actually hit save. So here I'm going to edit an event, and you can see that once the event's edited, it shows up. It'll only show up when I actually change to a different row. It's showing a 0 here. As soon as I move away from that, we can see there's one event to be edited. And there's a preview button which will show you all the events that are going to be modified in Google Calendar when you click Save. You can also right-click any event and open it in Google Calendar, which will open your default browser and take you directly to the event. So here the event is titled I Could Keep Going, and I'm now going to go back to GCalToolkit and save the new title. Once again, right click, open in Google Calendar, and the title has now been updated. So you can search replace text anywhere in your calendar in any field. Just to go quickly through the menus, you've got various selection tools. Opening Google Calendar we've already seen. Download Repeat Series will download all occurrences in an event. Strip HTML will remove any HTML from events. And we've got the Repeats menu where you can convert events to various types of repeats or set a specific R rule. And there's information in that dialog telling you how to do that. Here you can set busy, free, private, public, etc. Settings for guests, or delete the guests and restore original guests if you want to remove your changes before you've saved them. And add meets, remove meets. Add color to events. And then you can change various view options, such as showing or hiding columns, setting a dark or a light theme, or visit the website to purchase a subscription. Here we've got more advanced functionality, like adding attachments, for instance, to events, and you'll find details on my website for that, and in the options menu. Reminders, and then setting the original text and cancelling copies and moves if you've changed your mind, again before saving them. And once you've selected something there, you have to click Apply for that to apply to all the selected events. You can replace text in any field with various options, and you have to choose whether it's visible events, depending on your filtering, or selected events. Copy Move allows you to copy or move events from one calendar to another or the same calendar. And you can also shift events by any interval, forwards or backwards. And multiple shift allows you to do that several times. So, for instance, you could move an event forward X number of days 3 times. So here I'm just going to set that back to the original text and apply, and you'll see that now that has gone back, and then we can save it again. And that will be set back to the original text. In the options menu, you've got a general tab where you've got warnings that I'd turned off, but you can show those if you want. That's enabled by default, which means that every time you click something, it'll actually give you some information on what's going to happen and the options that you might want to change. Here, for example, I do advise strongly backing up all your Google Calendars before you do anything. You've got hints that show up, as you can see here, when you hover over something. Add guests when you copy events, which normally you don't want. Quit when the main events window closes. Disconnect everything when you leave the program. This removes filtering when you click the preview button. This uses the little pop-up editors for editing the fields instead of the usual spreadsheet editor. Add guests on move, again, you don't want to disable that, because when you move events you want the guests to be made aware of the change. And here are various options for duplicate criteria, so you can choose, for example, to ignore the repeat rules or whatever. Attachments is a little more complicated, but again you'll find more information for this on www.GCalToolkit.com. Basically, it allows you to attach multiple attachments using file names. Here we've got the theme and the font size if you want to change the display, and you'll have to restart GCalToolkit for those changes to take effect. And in the license menu, you can fill in your license details if you have one, which is strongly recommended if you're deleting lots of duplicates or you need the entire calendar to be downloaded, for example, and you have more than about 500 or 600 events. That just about covers it. Thank you for watching.